This is the doll head that I'm using. It's Janet from Pivot Point, and we've done a nice sectioning pattern through here, slightly different. So how I'm going to show you that is that we've got a triangle section here. Let me drop this down for you. So we've got a triangle section on the top, panel either side from top of the crown down to the back of the ears, and then the whole back section. What we're going to be doing is micro balayage. It's so pretty and so easy to use. It's one of those that I always have in my kit bag. I love it to work with it. And this is going to be the finished result. So this is it on a curlier formation, a stronger curl formation. So really, really pretty, lovely pieces, defines the curl for us. Look at that through there. So, and this is me styling. So you get to see those lovely bits in there. Now, it's also great for bobs, fringes, hair flickers. It's one of those that's in my kit all the time. But let's get started and show you what I'm doing. I'm going to be using Blonde Studio 9 with Bonder inside it. And the other week when I did the Hairbrain Live, look at that, by the way. Look at that consistency, just gorgeous. So the other week when I did a heavy paint, we used clay 7. This is going to give you more lift. It's 9, but it's a slightly different consistency. I like it a little bit runnier, so I mix it 1 to 1.2. But look there, still a bit like that sort of Betty Crocker icing. I love that. So let's go in, and we'll come back to the finished result in a minute. But let's start. What we want to do is we want to do, the less we do, the more contrast you'll get. The more we put in there, the heavier it'll feel. So what I want to not overwhelm this hair, what I want to do is create a really pretty sort of dimension to it. And I think that when we look at some of our brunettes, they can, especially on the darker brunettes, they can look really pretty solid. And it sort of loses itself in itself, which I know that sounds a bit weird, but. So I'm just going to take the first piece. And again, doesn't matter what curl formation it is, we just want to make sure that we've got that tension nice and tight. So a little bit of product there on my board, and let's go. So you can see that I'll start in the middle, load in the middle, like so, and then push myself to the root. I want this to go to the root. And you can see that it's one point is higher here, push to the root, and then it comes down like so. But really quite simple. And watch, see how that springs back in. Don't worry about that. We're going to, nothing underneath, so it's all surface work. Load that product on, making sure that there are no lines created in there by the brush. I'm using my Denman brushes. And then we just get that I created with Denman Pro. And that's the first one. Now, this bit makes some people panic, especially on a curl formation, because it's going to twist into itself a little bit. But that's the first piece. I love that. And that's really nice. You can see how much the hair stretches out through there. So that's always a bit like, whoa. Don't worry. Now, if we pack them too close together, it becomes solid. We don't want that. So we're going to pick our next piece and just pick it slightly underneath, a slight curvature in there. That's too big, too wide. Grab again. Let's get the product. And here we go. Keeping that tension tight, keeping that board out of the way for you as well. Load that product on, but we've got to put plenty of product on there, otherwise you won't get the lift. So if it's not white, it won't be light. And you can see that the high points are towards the face. And that's important to remember because generally speaking, people don't want it dark around the face. Now we need more product. So let me get some more product. Looking good, I think. Let me bring this over a little bit. Pick it back up again. Let's pull it out so you can see because it gets longer. Here we go. There. Nice. There's the second piece. And so you can see we've already recreated that story. So we've got lightness towards the face, then we've got depth in there, depth here, lightness, depth. and we carry that round. So let's go on to the other side. I don't want to put 1,000 in there because I don't want to overwhelm it. Bring that round. Make sure everything's nice and clean and out the way. Here we go. Bring that in so you can see. And again, that's a little too big, so let's take it a little bit smaller. And I think that's nice. So let's have a look and see if I can work that here for you, and I can. There. See, I just pick that up, and that little pro trick there, by picking the section up with the back of your tint brush, just makes it so much quicker. There's less putting the board down, putting the brush down, picking up the tail comb. These things then make life so much longer and so more difficult, and then it means really at the end of the day that you can't do that extra client. And I'm all for doing multiple services. See how that twists at the bottom there? Don't worry about it. It's absolutely fine. And do we need to put another one in here? And that's just take a visual check. I kind of don't think I do on this one. I think that's enough on there. And I don't want to do in between to make that really heavy at the bottom. So what we want to do is we want to break this up. So that's our first section. Now again, we've got to think about it in terms of density, porosity, texture, all the normal things that we think about how many we're going to put in there. So I'm going to say that, we're sort of medium density in there. So I'm just going to take it on a curve, round, bring down, and I brushed out the hair beforehand because I knew that I was going to be wearing it more natural looking, not overly styled. So I wanted to see the movement of the hair. Just pluck that out the way. And let's do it again. So you can see through here how these hit at the bottom, which is really, really cool. And remember that the goal is going to be, we want this kind of feel. Okay, so you can see how much light we can get with these pieces and totally change the look of it by doing some micro balayage on there. It doesn't have to be heavy. So welcome. If you've just joined us, I had a little technical difficulty, so I apologize for that. I am back with Hairbrained. My name's Jack Howard, and we're doing micro balayage today. I'm working on a higher curl formation, but balayage can be worn on any hair type, long, short, wavy, curly, coily, straight, it doesn't matter. These different gestures I teach at the L'Oreal Professional Academy. I teach them around the world, actually, which is really nice. Here we go. And this is micro balayage. So 1 point higher towards the face. Let's try and get to the root. If you see something that you make a slight mistake, fix it. Nothing underneath, which I love, and then bring it down. Now, I can't see any questions. But generally, what I don't want to do is I don't want to make it all matchy-matchy. I want it to have kind of a natural flow to it. That's really important to me. So just kind of step back, take a look, and then pop them in. It's very, very, very personal, which is important because we don't want cookie cutter. And see that little mistake there? Just fix it. Back of your brush. There. Nice. Now the doll head that's already finished, Janet, I love Janet. I haven't glazed her. I just did lift on it so you could get to see it. Nice. I can see some hearts, so people are enjoying it, which is great. And again, the middle, you could do either side on it, but remember that the high point is going towards the face. So let's do another one. Scoop it out. I like that. That feels good. Let's bring her back so you can see a little bit better, I think. Yeah, that looks good. There we go. Load. And see how tight that tension is. My finger's not moving from its position. Load in the middle, feather to the root. Now, I'm not back brushing. I don't back brush. I don't tease. I literally use my brush and paint up and down like so. Bring that through. That's nice. Oh, yes. There. Now, if you wanted to and you wanted a little bit more lift with Blonde Studio 9, you can definitely use plastic wrap over that to protect it and to generate some more heat. I'm quite comfortable not doing that today, but you can definitely do that if you want to. We've got some questions in there, which is really nice. I'm glad to see you all watching. Oh, the UK's in the house, which is great. Really good. Anna Canada's in the house too. Love to see all my international friends. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Now, let's go in, and you can see here that I think we could put 2 more in. So if you look at this side, right, you can see that's a nice flow with enough of what I call negative space in it. But if you come here, I've got 1 on the outside. Let's pop another one here. Really easy. Just pick that up. As long as you've got some weight underneath it and it's not a slice, it gives you more color, more weight of color at the bottom. Back to your board, load, load and feather, load and feather. That's so nice, so satisfying. And I love the fact that we can talk about all different hair curl formations in a really sort of honest and open way, and that balayage isn't just for, you know, long blonde hair, it's for short hair, for curly hair, for our older clients, for our younger, it's for anybody that's got hair, right? It's the picture and the story that you build that creates the look. So back to my bowl, and if you probably noticed, this brush doesn't go in the bowl. It just keeps the brush clean. It allows me to do so much more and work faster. And I can see here that I feel like I just need something there. I really do. Just this one. I'm going to show you what that looks like in a minute. Let's pull it in so you can see. That's it. That's nice. So I'm using Blonde Studio 9 with Bonder inside it and 20 volume today. And you get up to 9 levels of lift in prime conditions with 30 volume. And I want 9 levels of lift here. The Bonder is going to be great on my curl formation, so it's going to help keep the hair healthy. I love the fact that Bonders are built inside now. It makes less work for me in the salon, allows me to charge a little bit more without having to do all that work. So it just makes life easier. Now look, you can see now that we're kind of getting that pattern together. So that I just love that. That's Instagram worthy, I kind of think. So let's take our next section. You can see how quickly we can roll through this. I think I might just line her up a little bit more for you. How's that? Is that better? Maybe. Yeah, there we go. So you can also see the difference with curls and coils about how much stretch you can get in there because it's so tight through there. So don't worry about that. If you want to put plastic on it, do. If you want to slide some cotton underneath it to protect it, do. If you feel confident, like me, I've been painting for a very long time now, you don't necessarily have to do that. So let's take our brush and use the back of it. And there we go. Oh, it's a bit knotty because I clipped it out the way. But not to worry, we're okay. Here, and then just more of a curve now to go with the head shape. Clip that out the way, make sure she's done. And if you're enjoying this, tap a heart on there for me. Let me know that you're enjoying yourselves. It's really important for me to see you all. And if you're just joining, my name's Jack Howard. I am a L'Oreal Professional US artist and a UK artist. And today, Hairbrained have invited me on to talk about micro balayage. So it's a great trick to have in your kit bag. This one is really good for, you know, the clients who have a parting, but then they have a parting that they want to move around a lot, that they, you know, their hair flippers, partings everywhere. This allows you to pop a few more in those kind of areas, and allows you to give some flexibility to a client. So it's great for that. It's great for bobs. Oh my God, it's so good for bobs. Great for fringes. Fringes are very popular at the moment. You can't do chunky pieces in a fringe. Well, you can, but I kind of think it looks a little bit odd. So this is great for that. You can make these as wide as this. You can make them even more delicate. I think that if you do them too fine on a curl formation, they disappear. And what you want to do is you want to enhance the curl. But you can play around with the size. And that's the wonderful thing about balayage as well, that you can really muck around with it and have some fun. You see how it's all coming together. You can see that that one pops in there. So it's really nice, I think, and it's fun to do. Let's just move this to this side and let's do here. So we've nearly got through the back already. It's pretty amazing that we can work that quickly. We can see that. Let me just bring that in for you. That's better. Keep that board out of the way because that board is annoying. Here we go. But you see how I go back to my board, always referencing my board. Load, feather up one side. That's nice. And you see, and if I push that, I can bring in that curl formation and I can see exactly what it's going to look like. Boom. I know that boom isn't a technical word, but that's it. Love that. There. Really nice. And then you can see here that obviously, if we left that, it's going to be too dark. And what we don't want that. We kind of want to add some lightness into it. We're not trying to overwhelm the hair at all. Let me just, that's too thin. So let's bring that up. There we go. That's nice. See, you've got a little bit of depth. Here we go. Load and feather. Load and feather. Try not to put too much product on the brush. Keep loading to kind of get where you want to be. And bring that down and saturate those ends. That's nice. Yeah. It's a little bit too much there, so just take that off with the back. Good. So we can see, I personally think, I don't know about you, but I personally think that I need something there because that visual check, it feels good here, but this is lacking something. So let's slide a little piece in there. Really easy to do. And I just think we're just going to go lift that up. Doesn't have to be a huge one because you want to make it fit. And let's go in. And if you notice, I'm going right to the root. I think that lived-in hair is going to be, well, I think it is already finished. I think people are still requesting it, but I think that as a trend, it's gone. And I think that now we're going to see more stuff to the root, more highlights to the root. Maybe we do a root tap to soften it, but we're going to see more of that. And so it's really important that we, as an industry, kind of get used to going back up to the root again. So the volume developer, I can read that one, which is brilliant. The volume developer today is 20 volume with Blonde Studio Clay 9. I just used 20 with it. I think that's plenty for me. And there's our last section here. Let's drop that in on the back. And then we're going to go to the front. We're going to do a face frame, which is a really neat one. You're going to enjoy that. And I'm going to show you how I do the top section, which is completely different. Okay, so let's pop a couple in here. And as we spread that out, we can see that we don't really need anything here or here. We need a couple in there just to bring it all together, just to connect the dots, yeah? So let's have a look. I think there, because that is light already there and there. So I think that's nice. So let's do this one. Can we see? Oh, board is in the way, always. Let's go. Load. And the consistency of the product is like a cream cheese, my favorite, Betty Crocker icing. I could eat it by the tub. And it allows you to paint on the surface of the hair. It's not too thick, so you don't get stuck, and it's not too runny, so it runs everywhere. You can see how that works in there. So it's very much visual. So if you start feeling lost, right, and quite often we can get a bit lost in our own thoughts, I always say to people, listen, just take a step back. You would do that if you were doing a haircut. You would you would step back and have a look. So do that with your paints too. Make sure that the pieces are all fitting together like a jigsaw puzzle. There. And this has finer and thinner on through here, so we don't want to put too many in. Let's have a look at that in the mirror. And I feel that is good through there. As you look at it from the side profile, which I always think is fascinating, you can see all the depth in there, which is really, really nice. I like that. And what's going on? Yeah, I like the way that feels. So we know that we're going to get the pop in there. And then as I bring this one through, you can see it's starting to droop under the lights. But you can see in here that we've got all these pieces hitting the root. So I'm going to show you how I do that right now. Let's bring her around and bring her down a little bit for us. And let's straighten her up as well. She's looking a bit crooked. Always the camera there. That's a bit better. Great. So I remember I've done a triangle section through the top. So the widest piece at the front, then going to the narrowest at the back, because we're going to paint backwards on her. And what we want to do now is the side. We move her out of the way. So we've got this panel here. It's about how we approach this. What I want to see is, I don't want to see lots and lots of pieces there, but I definitely want to see some. So I'm just going to get I'm going to pick these out. 1, 2, 3. Just do it like that. Easy. Clip everything out the way. Clip this out the way as well. So it's just about keeping it neat and tidy for ourselves. I've also got some pre-cut cotton here in my hand. Now, what I don't want is product going onto the client's face. We never want that. We don't want anyone getting burnt. So I'm just going to hold this up. And here, I want to make sure that I hit right at this point in the corner, so that if the client wears her hair back, we can see that there's no sort of dark patch just by the ear. Really important little trick there. Now these are very fine, but you can see that. Nice. Let's bring that back. And let's just saturate those ends a little bit more than normal. Then take the cotton and just pop that underneath. And that just protects the face. There, like so. Let's take out the next one, which we just pre-did. Nice. Here, very good. And push to the root. Now, if you're frightened of going to the root, and I know a lot of people are, we seem to have a generation of hairdressers now who have only known lived in color. So what I recommend is getting out your head and practicing. And remember, your doll head cannot write a review on Google, Facebook, or whatever. So you can just get on and practice and make mistakes and learn from your mistakes. Here we go again, another piece. I'm going to get a bit more product for myself. Here we go. And push to the root. Right to the root there. Look at that. That's nice. And then drop that down. That's wonderful. And that's that hairline done. So you're going to have some nice little pieces popping around the face. And then what we want to do is we're going to work horizontally up. I'm going to show you what that looks like. I'm just going to take that section. Nice and clean. I'll bring that round to you. Take that clip off. Bring her here. And there. We're going to fill in here. So this is around the face. This is in the middle, and this is the back. So we want to make sure that this is cohesive as well. A little bit more product on the board. Just mix that up for yourselves. That's nice and easy. And I think that what we'd like to see is, I'd like to see A little one closer to the face. Bring her down a little bit for you. That's good. I think that's good for you. Let me know with a heart that you're enjoying this, or a thumbs up that you can hear and that it's all making some sense to you as well. If you're just joining us, my name is Jack Howard. I'm a L'Oreal Professional USA color artist, and we're talking micro balayage today. Look at that. That's nice. You see, and you want that lighter piece towards the face a little bit. Loving the hearts, thank you so much. Let's do another one. And if you want to see a different type of balayage, you can always come on a course with me. But last month I did a fantastic heavy paint on coily hair on the face, on Hairbrained, on their Facebook Live, and it's up there. So go back and watch that if you're enjoying this. It's another little thing that you can, another little trick to make your working day better. And I think that looks nice in there. We could say, let's pop another one in here, but I want you to think about this. So that's already there underneath it. This one's right behind it. There's not a lot of depth in there. So I think leave that completely. We'll just take this section again. We'll roll back. So it's basically 3 panels, and we'll make sure that we put something there. Right. That's good to me, I believe. Pop that out the way. So far, that's taken me half an hour. So it doesn't take a long time. I know a lot of people worry about how long a service is going to take, but I find micro to be really quick. I really enjoy it. And it's just this great little tool, little trick that I have in my kit bag. And if you want to know more about the 4 gestures, come learn with me in 2022 and 2023 with L'Oreal Professional USA. Here we go. And I'm going to show you that you see that piece that I didn't do before. I think that was a wise choice because that sits very nicely next to that with that underneath it. So it's just about creating a story. Yeah. Let's do here as well. And again, the more you put in, the heavier the look becomes. And what we want to do is we want pieces. We want it to be piecey. We want to enhance the curl formation. We want the contrast. Just wipe that off if it feels a little bit heavy. You know, best to fix little mistakes as you're going along, because if you wait till the end when you're blow drying, all you're going to do is your top lip's going to sweat and you're going to start panicking because knowing that you should have fixed it beforehand. And again, we've got the same kind of feeling going on. Do we put one here or not? I think that we could possibly put one here. That. Do you agree with me? Let me know in the comments if you agree on that one. I'm going to add it anyway. Let's have a look. It's a doll head. It's okay. I think sometimes for me, it's easier to add one in than, well, it's not sometimes. It's easier to add one in than it is to do one and do it too many. And then it's like, how do I get rid of it? So that standing back trick that I do all the time is really helpful. Really helpful. And I think that works now. You see, that just comes together. Makes sense? I hope so. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I'm enjoying showing it to you. And we're going to drop the final section down. It's a very fine section, and I wonder if I should actually add anything to it. I think that I'm going to put something here. I think there. I'm worried about that being too heavy. But let me see if I can drop her a little bit more for you to see. There. What I don't want is for it to be all light on the top and then darker underneath. I want an even distribution. So we've got to be thinking about the density of the hair and where we're putting things. There's a lot to remember. It's a skill set, right? Here we go. I'll do a delicate one there. And that piece there, just wipe that off. And that works. That really works. And I think here is where I want it, right here. Okay. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see me do any other paints on here for you. I'd love to. And let me know if you're enjoying micro balayage and if you do it in the salon already, or you've not thought about it before and suddenly you've just had a little aha moment, which is just wonderful to see. There we go. So this is how it's looking. We've got the other side to do yet, which is so easy. I'm going to repeat exactly what I did on that side, and you can see that there. Let's bring her back in again quickly, and you can see what we've got here. So you've got these lovely lightness in here, and it's just really lifted up the curl, but it goes right into the root. No glazing on this either, guys. No glazing, just pure raw lift. I like to glaze, but I didn't want to glaze for this for you. I wanted to just see it as it is. So nice. And you see how the curl gets more defined in there? Brilliant. Hope you're enjoying. So let's do this side. So again, we're going to keep this front out. We're going to approach that slightly differently, which is always fun. And then here, we're going to pick just 3 little peaks around the face. We don't want to overwhelm. So I want 1 at the bottom. I want 1 in the middle. And I want 1 at the top. That's it. Lock that out the way for a minute. They're the 3 pieces. Let's paint. I'm going to pop this down. I'm going to pick up my bit of cotton wool. I like a little bit of cotton wool around the face. It just makes me less nervous, right? I don't want to hurt anyone. And let's just straighten her up for you. That's it. Nice. All right. So again, take the first section that we've pulled out, and remember, hold that tension tight. We're going to paint down to the corner that's by the ear, right there. Let me pull that in so you can see it a bit closer. That's it. So you can see that this would go behind the ear. So it's really nice to paint that. So if the client decided to tuck it behind her ear, it wouldn't be dark there. Let's go in, load that product, saturate those ends. And then I've got my cotton in my hand and I just pop a little piece underneath, just like that. And you can see how that curl comes back, which I love. You know, and also, guys, don't forget, Instagram the process, you know, or take pictures of the process, put it on Facebook, put it on Insta, whatever the platform is that you use, put it on TikTok, show people what you're doing. I like that too. I love the way the curl just kicks back in. It's just so pretty. Let's go through. Yeah, load that up, bring that down. Oh, here. Just pop a little bit of cotton underneath that. That's perfect. And then the last piece, let's move this out of the way. It's getting in my way a bit. And again, load in the middle, feather up. The product that I'm using today is Blonde Studio 9 with Bonder inside. It's a new L'Oreal Professional lightener because it's got the Bonder inside it, so it helps with keeping the hair strong. You get up to 9 levels of lift with it. That's why I'm only using 20 volumes today, not 30 volume. I'm going to have a quick sip of water. That's good. And there we are, just around the face. We're going to do this bit next, so don't worry. We're going to do the whole thing. But now we're just going to work through the side panel exactly the same as the other side. I want to make sure that you can all see it and enjoy it. You can see how she's coming together, yeah? I just love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So you can watch this whole thing on playback at your own pace. Thank you for joining me. Just wipe your board if it gets a bit messy. Easily done. Let's go. I think we'll just do one here. This one. Load in the middle. Feather up. load in the middle, further up. The highest point is going to be towards the face and it's going to be close to the root. I love that now, really enjoying seeing more of that going on. It also means the higher you go to the root, the more often a client's going to come in. Not that we're just doing it to get them to come in more often, but when you think about it, it's really important that people come back. So this is nice for us as an industry to see the trend move to something less lived in and more polished, more done. I'm going to just drop this for you here. You can see there that we just want to work in these panels. A bit more product for me. Take that old hair off. Okay, and again, let's pick this one out. That's good. But I need to bring her down a bit for you. So hope she doesn't drop off on me. She did the other week. That's good. Load in the middle, feather to the root, load in the middle, feather to the root, load in the middle, feather to the root. Perfect. Saturate the ends. That's where you're going to get the pop. You see how that connects in there. That's good. Let's do another one. Let's do this. I'm going to pop one in here. So again, think about how many you're putting in. We don't need to do a gazillion. We want to do enough to make a difference so we can see it. We don't want it so natural that she says, "Where is it?" That's happened to me before. And we don't want to do so little that so many rather, that when we rinse it, we're like, "Oh my goodness, it's a one process color." There's a trick, you know, it's a balance. And the balance is going to come about from your taste level too. So it's how you see color, which is why people come to us. We can all do the same thing, but people come to us because of the way in which we see them, we see the hair color. So this is amazing now because we've got that front nearly ready to do that. So we're just going to finish here. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to approach the front because we're going to approach it differently. So tune in, hang in. And again, we definitely need something in here. I wonder what that looks like. Let me just bring this over. There we go. I think this one. Oh, no. See? Pull that back. I think this one here. That's it for me. That's good. Great. Load and feather. Load and feather, pushing to the root. Push, 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 push. And if you start in the middle of the hair, where I do, it's less likely that you can make a mistake and not get out of it. And you can see that we definitely need something there. Let's do that. You know, all these little tips and tricks just help us work quicker. That's going to be good there. So let's do this. Nice. Ooh. Nice. Feels good. Load and feather, making sure that the product's not too thick, not too runny. And that looks like that. And you can see because of all the depth in there, whoa, because of all the depth in there, you can see how the light's going to pop into it, which again is really important. And then when we come back to this, the doll head, let's turn her around through here. And she's got all these pieces in here, which is really nice. So I love that idea that we can create lightness and brightness without going over the top. So here's the front. Let's straighten her up. She's straight, she's straight. And what we're going to do is we're going to work backwards. We've done the hairline, so we definitely want to think about what that's going to look like here. It's going to be important. I'm going to lower this a little bit so that you can all see. That's better. So we're going to just work in diagonal patterns, straight across, horizontal patterns. Get the words right today, Jackie. Okay, let me show you. Bring this out the way. Oh, clip is here. Don't want to see that. So we're going to take these and we're just going to paint them and then drop them down. Let's bring her a little bit like that so you can see, right? So you can see we've just worked straight across. Now we've got a bright piece here and here. So we don't want to put two on either side because then it's going to be too heavy. So I think I'm going to do 1 and 2 there. Let's get some more product. Right. There we go. So we're literally load and feather to the root. Can you see that? Is that nice and clear for you? Yeah. Nice. But remember, we're thinking about how the hair is going to be styled and falling. So if the client wears it sort of rounder, then we can just do this way. If she wears it on a specific part, we might change up where we do it. We have to think about that. We have to ask those questions and figure all of that out before we start. So we've got a plan. I like that. I like the way that is. There we go. I love painting. It's so cathartic to me. Let's do that. It's nice. Let me show you what it looks like from here. There. So we've done 2 either side there on the top, right? So I would brick this going back, the brickwork pattern. Let me find my clip. We're going to do another section. And again, if you put too many in, it's just going to be overwhelmed, and we don't want that. We want to embrace the curl, and we want to see definition in there. A bit more product. What does that sit like? So I feel here is immediately I'm drawn to this piece. So again, we're working backwards. Just got a nice cohesive shape. Oh, yes, that's good. Forward under, drop. That's nice. Put my earphone in there, it's dropping out. And we're going to do 1 in the middle on this one. Here. Can everyone still hear me? Just checking in. Can you press me a heart if you can hear me? Yeah? Can everyone hear me? Thumbs up? Feel like it's, yeah, oh good. Good, good, good. Thank you. It suddenly went very quiet. Pop that one in there. And then 1 here. And then I'll show you what this is. Oh good. Definitely everyone can hear me. Great. Thank you so much. I'm going to take a bit more product. That's it. Now remember, today I'm working micro balayage on a higher curl formation, but this can be done on any hair type. Color can be done on any hair type. Look at that. See? That starts to look really good. We've got a few more to do in here, which is great, and we're on our way to being finished. So we're on time, and then we're going to take this section out. You can get to see that a bit better. Nice. And again, if you're nervous, if you're new to this, you can pop some cotton under each segment. I feel really comfortable not doing that. But what I don't want you to do is think that you can't because I don't. You can absolutely put some cotton in there. You can put some plastic wrap on there if you want to get a little bit more lift in it. All of it's fine. There. And you see how we just push that in. Bring that up. So nice. And we're using Blonde Studio 9 with Bonder inside it. So again, we're just working through that back section. We're using 20 volume today. You can use 30 volume, depends on how much lift you want, up to 9 levels of lift. But remember, on all products, it says up to. Up to is in prime conditions. So you've got to think about porosity, density, pre-colored levels, natural level, all of that stuff. And if you're doing balayage and your client doesn't like warmth, maybe this kind of traditional French balayage isn't for her if she doesn't like warmth, because you're always going to have this lovely sort of transition zone that I think is like the magic spot, and it has this little bit of warmth to it. I love it. But if your client doesn't like warmth, she's going to see that straight away and she's going to be like, ah. So think about which technique you're using on which person, because sometimes you might need to pull your foil out, yeah? And that's okay. It's all okay. Here we go. And then we're going to go on to the very last piece. That's nice. Let's see this, let me show you. See, we're getting all those pieces in, but I'm painting that way, on top backwards. And we're going to work on the very front piece now, which is this way. And this, think about what you did on the sides. Oh, she's a bit stiff. Think what we did here, we're going to repeat there. So it's just this, when it's worn back, it's this lovely cohesive feeling to it. Got a little bit more product here, pre-mixed. Got my bit of cotton, nearly tripped over on the live. That would have been amazing. Bring this back. Let's do one here. Absolutely. Love that. Are you ready? Push to the root. So it's really soft there. So it looks like it's growing out the scalp. I love that. For those of you who are at the beach this summer, you'll know, if you've got kids, that they have these lovely pieces that just, you don't know where they start. They're so pretty. That's what we're kind of trying to recreate. So nice. I want it to be a little bit heavier looking just around here. So feather, bring through, saturate those ends. Let's put a little bit of cotton underneath it and see if you hold the cotton in your hand all the time. You don't have to worry about it. Here we go, another one. That's it. There, we don't like that. Fix it if you don't like it. Pop a piece of cotton underneath that there. And you can see how that's coming together. I'll just bring this for you here. There. You can see that? That's nice. Now, we're going to add another one here, I feel, and then one in the middle of that. So again, bring that up. Doing this upside down. That's nice. That's it. Need a bit more product. Just take that out of my bowl. It's a bit naughty, but don't tell me off. Pop that under. And then the last one is just here. Goodness. I need a bit more product. It's in my bowl. There. Nice. Great. And then pop a little bit of cotton underneath that too. And we're wearing that hair back. So we've got the lightness there, which is going to give us that pop. And then when we generally look through, we've got all of that working really nicely on there. So you can see all the pieces. And this is the result. micro balayage. Oh, micro balayage on a higher curl formation. You can see how she's dropped under the lights, but you can see how we get this lovely feeling to it. You can see in there, we've got the lightness bringing through to a little bit more pop on the ends. It kind of shapes that curl up a little bit more, which is what I really, really enjoy about it. I'd like to thank you for joining me today on Hairbrained. I'd like to thank L'Oreal Professional. I hope you've enjoyed this. You can watch this on playback. My name's Jack Howard Colour on all platforms. Thank you everyone for watching. It's micro balayage. This is the end result on curly hair. This is what we start with as we paint. It is great for bobs. It is great for fringes. It is great for people that flip their parting around. It's quick. It's highly effective. The more you put in, the more you change the color, the less you put in, the more PC it gets for you. Thank you so, so much